Yo, pod! This is Meat Mitch, and you're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Bonk.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish! What?
He ate 54 wieners.
Oh, listen, Libertius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seed.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And we are into the second hour. Wow, just like that. First hour's gone. The second hour is here. You have no idea what you've stumbled across. This is the BBQ Central Show. This is a show that talks about all things that are important to the world of barbecue and grilling. We're doing it live every Tuesday night. Yes, live. From 9 to 11 p.m. The show's being recorded for Audible podcast release. Hour number 1 will be released tomorrow, and hour number 2 will be released Thursday. We'll talk about Friday here in a second. The BBQ Central Show coming to you live and direct from
Palm City, USA.
Still to come on the show this evening. Sorry, didn't mean to step on you, Dave. Still to come on the show tonight, trying to say Susie and Todd all at the same time. Susie and Todd Bulloch from Hey Grill Hey, so stay tuned for that. Of course, we say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You could watch on Facebook, which is facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, or you can watch on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show, where we do have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody. With the dates set and announced, you believe that the BBQ World Cup will happen 100%, and currently 55% of you are saying yes, you believe the BBQ World Cup is now officially going to happen, and we'll see what that looks like through the rest of the show. We've been very close. We've been 5 or 6 points of 50-50, but then it seems to race out to 10 points or so on the positive side. Jason Pettis asking for the Weird Science Hour 2 intro. Jason, I would feel... So the music that I'm using now, like that music, that is from a very obscure Vanilla Ice song or movie. From the soundtrack. The movie, by the way, if you just feel the need to enlighten yourself. And by the way, as movies go, as I was working Starflix back in my senior year high school, first year in college summer, you know, when VHS rental stores were the thing, Vanilla Ice was the hit. I've seen him in concert. Big fan, still a big fan to this day. He did a movie. It was called Cool as Ice. The soundtrack was mind-blowing, life-changing, all of the positive adjectives that you would like to say. And all things considered, not a bad movie. I've seen it like 50 times. I would put it in once a shift at Starflix because it was fun. So if you're ever looking for something obscure, late 80s and 90s reference and Vanilla Ice heavy, Cool as Ice might be something you might want to take in on whatever the hell streaming platform it might be on, and it might not be on any of those. You might have to get it on YouTube as a rental. And then give me your feedback on it. I think, you know, if 10 is the best movie ever and 1 is the worst movie ever, it's a solid 4 to 5. I think you might be shocked at how good of an actor Vanilla Ice is. He's a great rapper, but perhaps equally as good as an actor as he is a rapper. Don't let my laughing fool you. It just sounds weird saying this out loud. Anyway, coming up on the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less this coming Friday, episode 447, taking you back to August 19th of 2014, 12 years ago, almost to the day. And this week features one of the most popular formats in the history of the BBQ Central Show, the Roundtable shows, in what stands as one of our final roundtable discussions, perhaps ever currently. We gather the top competitors and pork pitmasters of their era for a competition pork roundtable. And the featured guests this time around include David Qualls of the American Dream Barbecue Team, Matt Barber of Hot Wachulas, and Darren Worth from Iowa Smoky D's. And for anyone unfamiliar with these competitors, this serves as an ideal primer, and it comes from a time when competition barbecue remained a major focus across the industry. And back then, the competition barbecue scene actively set and drove major trends, and interest in competitive barbecue was exceptionally high, making it a treat to revisit who was dominating the field and what recipes were taking top honors. And by the way, I do listen to every show, so let me address John's talk out. Pondering which pork brand Darren Worth currently uses in comps, and he actually wondered if Darren is still doing comps. So I text Darren Worth immediately after I heard it, and I said, hey, Darren, I know you're still competing. No need to worry about that, but what are you using pork-wise? And currently, Darren Worth using Compart pork, the Compart Duroc pork, whatever. So, John, to answer your question or your out loud wondering, he is still competing, doing well, and he's Compart pork guy. You can subscribe to the show by visiting thebbqcentralshow.com/subscribe. And don't forget, if you would like to hear a guest or segment that you feel has been lost in the archives, you can email John, let him know what you'd like to hear. John, Jon, Jon at thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what you've been waiting for, the toupee update, because you've been asking for it ever since I mentioned it last week. So a week ago, went to bed, woke up Wednesday on the road to Columbus, Ohio, and first thing before any business is done on the heavy duty trucking side, I go to Hair by Lindsay Cole, sit down for a 15-minute toupee consultation. I got to tell you, she's a delight. She knows her shit. She's well-trained. She was asking all the right questions. She gave me ample amount of time to ask all of my questions to her. She was really invested in what my current lifestyle looks like, if I'm a workout guy, if I'm not a workout guy, if I'm run hot guy, if I'm not, do I sweat, blah, blah, blah. Because in its totality, the amount of sweat, evidently, that is going to be on the dome is going to lessen the time that I guess normal people that don't work out would get out of a glue down situation. So maybe somebody doesn't work out or isn't active or doesn't sweat, I don't know. They can get like 2 weeks before they would have to do any kind of a re-glue or touch up or whatever the hot button words are with things involved in maintenance. Let's call it maintenance. So if you are an active person or you're a sweater by trade, that obviously affects the adherence, longevity of the, I'm just going to call it glue. So that's number one. And, you know, I have been a many years of workout guy, not so much into running anymore, but I do walk at a pretty steep incline at a pretty decent clip. So by the time a half an hour is up, I wouldn't say I'm in flop sweat, but I am in a sweat. Like the head is sweating, shirt is soaked, front and back. I mean, I'm worked up by the end of the walk, and then it's weightlifting after that, and we got to get the push-ups in, got to do the EVs, blah, 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 blah. So that's 4 times a week at a minimum, and I'm also trying to get 10,000 plus steps in every single day, 7 days a week. That doesn't always result in sweating or overheating. That appeared to be the main. And then it was, well, do we want to go polymer-based? Do we want to go lace? She's working with both. She's talking about realistic hairlines and things of that. And here's what we've worked out. September 21st, also a Monday. We call that Installation Day. I'm calling it Installation Day. How about that? Then, the next day, so 21st, so then let's back it up a week before that Tuesday, you will see a debut visit from toupee specialist Lindsay Cole right here on this show. We're going to talk about toupees, we're going to talk about stigmas, we're going to bust myths, we're going to give like it's not going to look like a dead bird or a rat on my head or maybe a dead cat or whatever. So we're going to talk about all of that. Then a week later, Monday, I'm going to be down in Columbus for the install, also for business, but also for the tube install. And then the following night, making back-to-back appearances, Lindsay Cole will be back on the show, talk post-install. How to go, what's it looking like. I'm going to give like my real-time feedback, being 24 hours just in. All the fun stuff that you want to know. And then, it will all be unveiled together. So whenever I forget, she might be 9:14 leading up. So I'll like try and like mask the head and we'll like unveil it all together so everybody can see. Then everybody can make fun of me, of course. 'Cause I know how you people are. And then we're just going to talk about it. Like, again, I'm not hiding it from anybody. I'm not trying to pull a fast one on anybody. But to see what I have seen on Instagram, especially with what's available today in this market versus what I had grown up seeing, is like night and day. Light years, night and day. And she studied under one of the best. Also, my youngest daughter, the cosmetologist, is going to be going down in hopes of maybe inspiring her to bring that skill back to the Cleveland area where there is nobody doing that. So that's the timeline of toupee as it sits right now. Initial consultation is done. We're feeling really good about it. We were color matched, the whole different thing. And then, so the Tuesday before, so it would be like, 14, like the 15th, I think. Lindsay Cole will be on pre-install to talk all about it. And then a week later, she will be back doing post-install interview because we're getting it put on the Monday before that. So, this is all I have right now. I hope to have served you with this information. If you have any questions, let me know. But you're not going to be left out of this. We're documenting it. We're going to be shooting a lot of social media videos. She's going to be shooting a lot of social media videos. We're going to be able to track this in real time. And in the end, if I look like a dope, I can always go back to looking bizarre. Right? Right. Okay. All right, Susie and Todd Bulloch are in the green room. Before we get to that, I'm telling you about McAuliffe Cigars because guess what? The new color is coming out. It's going to be a big announcement here soon. Working on getting Amanda McAuliffe on the show to talk all about it. It is the orange, the last one in the color series. Is it my favorite color? No. Is it good? They're all good. That's the hardest part. I have my favorites of the entire color series. This one is not one of my favorites, but I feel if you are somebody that's in that, like say mild to medium, but medium plus is too much, can't do it. If you like the lighter wrapper kind of a situation, then the orange might be for you. We'll talk to Amanda all about it. All you need to do is go to McAuliffeCigars.com to find a retailer near you. McAuliffe is spelled MICALLEF, McAuliffeCigars.com. And we're back with Hey Grill Hey right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the BBQ Central Show.
Welcome back. Leading off the second hour this evening is the creator of the Hey Grill Hey brand. Just chill out for a second, guys. I feel like I want to say this, but I want to stick my foot in the mouth. Say that. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give you a little traveling music here. Looking. Finishing the intro. And 2020 BBQ Central Show's guest Hall of Famer, Susie Bulloch. Did you know that?
Yeah!
You don't remember that 6 years ago?
It was a long time ago.
We were all so much younger and
so young.
We were all so much not on television that much back then. But boy, have things changed for some of us. Some of us. Holy moly. All right, before we get going on TV talk mostly, but then we'll get into some other business stuff. YouTube poll question of the week. With the dates set, you believe that the BBQ World Cup will happen 100%?
Yeah, I've been on Team Yes since the beginning.
That's right. Then Todd, still Team Yes for you?
Last time we talked about it.
Yes, all right.
Yeah, I trust in Christy. I trust, and if Christy Vanover's Girls Can Girls says yes, then I'm a yes.
All right, so let's talk about TV. Susie is all over TV on Food Network again, and she was on Barbecue Brawl, and perhaps you forget that she had a one-off show of sorts that had it should have been made into a series, but I mean, not everybody at the Food Network is smart. Susie is also on the Tastemade network with her Backyard Barbecue Hero show. It is all Susie all the time right now. How did the timing work out to be on like two different shows simultaneously?
I don't know.
Really?
The calls came in and said, do you want to do this? And I said, okay.
Just
and then another
up.
call came and said, do you want to do this? And I said, okay.
Nice. So, well, I mean, where do I get the Tastemade network at?
Tastemade is streaming on like YouTube TV and the Roku channel. It's essentially like an additional, channel just on the TV, but there's also an app that you can download if you have a smart TV. The Tastemade app is available.
They're all on YouTube.
Yeah, they've all been uploaded to the Tastemade cooking channel on YouTube, and if you are a Netflix subscriber, you can stream all 6 episodes on Netflix.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, somebody in the instant chat said it's on Netflix, and I was like, well, that seems like it's a channel, and then but they just took the show off the Tastemade and put it on Netflix.
Both.
It's licensed out to Netflix.
Lord, wow. I mean, are you raking in $8 to $10 million a week at this point?
No, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so this is why we're funding the $1 million jackpot now.
Surprise!
Hey, I knew it. I knew we'd find out who that investor was. Thank God. Thank God that all happened. All right,
that was a joke. We are not.
Of course, we love to joke here. So, what call comes in first, Susie?
Tastemade first. At the very beginning of this year, they did some outreach. If you are familiar with Tastemade, they're doing a lot more of the style of cooking show that I think a lot of us grew up with. That's called the Stand and Stir, where you have a host that's actually teaching, engaging. Each episode kind of has a theme or a point, or really we're delivering something of value per episode. And I really love that format. It's the format that I grew up watching. I love Julia Child. We love Rachel Ray and Ina and Sandra Lee and Emerald. Like the old school Food Network and PBS cooking shows were great. And
Stephen Raichlen.
Yeah, I always wanted to make that kind of a show. And so when they said, hey, we're making these kinds of shows on this channel called Tastemade, I said, okay. And I was just familiar with Tastemade already because being in digital food media. They have millions of followers across platform. And I really thought it was interesting that they were commissioning shows that a lot of other channels have stopped making. And so it was really exciting to get that opportunity. And they said, do you have a concept? And I said, I don't just have a concept. I have all 6 episodes in the name. And I emailed them back in a couple days and said, because I'd already built this show in my mind over the last decade of what I would want this to look like and how I would want it to feel. And so pretty much like 1% refinement and feedback from the Tastemade team in terms of like, we think this episode's great. Can we swap in this type of recipe for this one? And we were good to go.
Some behind the scenes on this was interesting to me because I've seen we had a Food Network show where a production company pitched Food Network the idea for the show. Then Discovery and Food Network gave the production company the money to fund the show. But Tastemade reached out and said, we'll basically at a budget of X amount per episode, we can give that to you and then you guys produce it. And they gave us full creative license to find our own production team and build the show exactly how Susie wanted it. So that was amazing.
Who gets to do that?
I wouldn't have the first idea. I have no idea how TV works anyway, other than just talking to people that are on TV shows. And we rarely talk about inside baseball of how TV actually gets made. I had just a little bit of an introduction from Mark Anderson over at the Grill Dad saying,
yes,
things are changing rapidly, especially over the last couple of years, where the channels that are winning, it's not the old school, like Todd was just talking about, where the network and a production company get together and this and that. They're now doing the reach out and saying, if you can bring us a finished this many episodes, then you have a platform to put it on. And I think that allows somebody like you guys, and I've seen, 100, 200 of your videos, and to me, those are prototypical stand and stir type moments that you were talking about. And it almost feels like this had been something you were just leading up to over these, the overnight success of 10 plus years. That's the old saying, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. So you've had all of this experience. You've been in front of cameras. Did you hire outside production, or were you able to keep all of this in-house, maximize the money that goes in the pockets, but also know that you have this experience of producing really great video content and you could flip it over to a network?
We were idiots. Having never been our own production company. We produce all of our YouTube videos, but I wanted to make something that was up to a streaming platform standard that could be syndicated or licensed, and I wanted to do the concept justice. So we definitely overspent in terms of budget when it comes to hiring our production team and the lighting team and the videographers and all that goes into post. It's just, you can do it. We could do it cheaper. Todd and I can point and shoot cameras. We can set up simple lighting, but I really wanted to go all out a little bit on this one. So we spent the whole budget. I think we took home like none dollars an episode.
Yeah, wow.
But I will say that the value that we have seen in terms of like people watching it and the comments that we're getting and the emails that we're getting and the tags that we're seeing on social media, it's not just for building the brand, but people are cooking these recipes. People are following along. They're taking tips home. And Christy texted me today. She said, I just got recognized on an airplane from the Netflix show because she's a guest on one of the episodes. And then that person in turn looked both of us up, then went to Food Network and has watched the entire Pitmaster series. So I think it has a little bit wider reach. And this is somebody who wasn't necessarily into barbecue or watching barbecue shows, but came across it on Netflix on their recommended watch page. And I think it's introducing a lot of people to this world that we live in, which is that, the backyard barbecue and grilling space is really fun.
How did you source the whole production team?
We had a recommendation for a producer, and he knew people in the industry because he'd been working in production for 10, 15 years, and we kind of built our crew from there.
We're like a 6-hour drive north of LA, and I think I think 4 or 5 of the people drove up from LA, like cameraman, lighting, grip. It was like a legit production. It was wild.
It was awesome.
How long does it take to film?
We shot everything in 2 days.
Wow, long days.
We did 3 episodes a day over 2 days, but it was, I mean, all of the phone calls back and forth, the meetings planning, all of the grocery shopping, culinary. Todd ran back of house for culinary, which is a little bit different. He wasn't as prevalent in a lot of the episodes. He comes in at the end for tasting and, but he was back of house. He was running all of the culinary to make sure that we had food when we needed it.
Todd, what's your desire to be front facing, on camera, anything like that? And has it changed over the years? I feel like in the beginning you were probably like, get me the hell away from this as much as possible. And somehow I don't want to say you've become Mr. Comfortable, but it's not the same vibe.
People ask for me, so I show up, but I don't have any desire to be the star. Like I don't know. I'm literally like, being blonde is a real thing. And when they put the camera on me and say something, I just am like, I don't know. Like my brain just goes blank. So I just don't like it. And I'm in to do it as long as it elevates the brand and entertains people. I'm all for it. But when people asking for me, I don't know. I have low self-esteem, I guess, but I just think it's a farce. Like it's a joke. Like, we need more Todd. And I'm like, okay.
I feel like that could eventually be a wedge in some people's relationship where initially, I'll use you guys just as an example because you're here, but like Susie has always been, let's say, the face of the Hey Girl Hey brand. And then somehow the other person starts to get involved in it. And all of a sudden it becomes like a weird thing where now the person that really was never the face or wasn't really the start of it is now becoming offended that we're not getting equal time, or maybe I should get my own show too. And it sounds weird when we're talking to you guys about it, but I think that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I think so too. Todd and I were actually talking about that last night because you see it really often when, especially in a lot of relationships where a wife becomes successful or higher earning or has more exposure than her spouse, that does create a lot of insecurity and a lot of inequity, and that can lead to problems. But I don't know, Todd's like the greatest human that has ever been. And legitimately, when people are like, we want more Todd, I'm like, I know, me too. He's the best. And I think the self-deprecation is endearing and relatable in a way that makes him more attractive on camera and more fun to watch. But just like our kids, like we've never forced our kids to be on camera. I would never force Todd to be on camera, aside from like hey, get in here, it's time for your taste test. But like, he gets to come in and take 2 bites of something delicious, Yeah. And I think it's a delightful moment.
I know deep in my heart with where we're going to take this brand, it has to be all her. And like people can see me in the background and see me at times, but it has to be all her, and that's just the way it is, and I'm totally okay with it.
Here's what I think, and who am I? I think people love Susie. What's not to love? And then I think they can build this perceived extra connection to the brand if they can see Todd, if they hear Todd talk, or maybe they run across them in the airport or whatever. Oh, hey, aren't you Susie? Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
He gets recognized more than I do, for sure. Everywhere we go.
I think that is a unrealized value add to the brand, where if it was just Susie, maybe the connection to the whole thing wouldn't be as deep. But because we have a perceived access to Todd, it strengthens that relationship. It deepens that relationship with the customer or the fan base.
That wasn't intentional, but that would be a great byproduct for sure.
I mean, we've only ever shared what's true and what's like real and authentic. And, when we first started, Todd was working full time. He wasn't there when I was filming. I was setting up a tripod in my kitchen and filming by myself. I was doing live videos on Tuesday. My mom would take the kids on Grandma Tuesdays when they were little, and I would set up my phone and do Facebook Lives by myself. And so that's what you saw, because that's what was real. And when he quit his job and started to become more involved in the production or in the products or whatever it was, like, you started to see more of Todd because he was there. And I think that's true now. So it's kind of always just been really where we were at the time. And sometimes he's traveling or sometimes he's busy or we don't have an extra cameraman, but it's always been based in what we're actually experiencing and living and going through. So I do think it lends a lot to that connection with us because you're seeing, you know, what our lives are like in a lot of ways.
How does the Food Network come about?
I got an email from a casting company saying they're doing this outdoor adventure show, or I think it was a DM on Instagram, or I don't even remember. Wow. I also am signed up for like emails where I get casting emails. So I just hit a quick reply and was like, yeah, let's do it. And they said, this is actually a pairs show. And I said, Todd, do you want to do this? And he said, absolutely not. It was like it was instant no. Yeah. And I said, okay, I'm calling Christy.
I was going to say, was she the first?
He just doesn't want to go.
She was the first invite. There was nobody else that you thought about?
Oh, yeah. I think it was my idea. I want to claim it was my idea. I'm like, Christy, 100%.
Why?
She's a phenomenal cook.
Yeah.
She's incredible under pressure. She's a great competitor. And I have found in these shows, people who have a good repository of recipes at their beck and call usually fare pretty well because they're able to cook on the fly and, you know, pull out concepts and recipes in a way that I think adds a little bit of an advantage to either just competition cooks or just restaurant cooks that kind of do the same things over and over again. So she was my secret weapon a little bit because she doubled my recipe repertoire instantly when you put the two of us together.
So I had Connie and John on last week, and I said, hey, when you're, you know, rolling up, you see everybody come in, like, how many teams did you recognize? And like immediately they said 0. We had 0 recognition of any team. John said that. Connie's like, well, I knew Susie, and I want to say she knew somebody else, but I think it was just you. She had no idea who anybody else was. And I said, oh, you didn't know any of the judges? Oh, yeah. We knew all the judges, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I know, you know, like Matt, and everybody knows Ernest, and I mean, you know all the judges, of course. But from a team's perspective, did you know everybody else, or did you know everybody except Connie and John?
I knew Connie. I didn't recognize her when I first saw her, but she told me her name and kind of what she had done, and I was like, I follow you on social media. So I've been following. Yeah, we watched the shows that she was on. So I'd followed Connie. I just didn't recognize her. It's like you see people out of context of like TV or social media, and it like takes you a minute. Hector and Ruben, we knew about Palmita Barbecue, but I hadn't ever met him or Ruben in person. So they were new to me. And then the Denzel and Reggie from Tacoma, I didn't know them either. And they just became like our brothers on that show. We got really close. Our cook stations were right across from each other. We helped each other out with building our pits. We helped each other out with hauling wood. So it was, they were amazing, and I didn't know them before the show started, but I think I knew.
We knew Al and Jeremy really well.
Yeah.
I know Al too well.
Yeah. And Leslie and her son, we knew them really well. Yeah. And so I felt like I had a good handle on who everybody was. I didn't know Alisal and Grecia, but we knew of 2M.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being as uncomfortable as it gets, 10 being the most comfortable thing ever, how do you feel about being on TV, Susie?
I left that experience. Christy and I both left feeling like it was such a positive experience. It's incredibly grueling. Any TV show is very demanding, not just from the physicality of like being on your feet and cooking and like
not sleeping.
Yeah. Any show, they added that element of outdoors, right? They added the element of sleep deprivation, building your own pits from scratch. Like there were a lot of elements to it that took it to a next level in terms of physicality. And then on top of that, you have cameras in your face all the time, producers asking you questions, and The judges, it's really interesting. We got some feedback from the judges face to face a lot in the earlier episodes. And then the last couple of episodes, the judging wasn't done to our faces. So Christy and I left the whole thing feeling incredibly positive. Like we did this amazing job. And so I would say 10 out of 10 in terms of like the filming experience. It was difficult, but we really enjoyed it. We feel like we represented ourselves incredibly well. I would say watching it back is like a 5 out of 10. I hate watching it after we make it. It's not my favorite. I love watching this because we didn't get to see a lot of what the other teams were cooking.
Yeah.
So it's while we were there, because we're so focused on what we're making.
Of course.
So it's really fun to watch it back and see what all the other teams made. But I don't love watching it back and seeing, just like anybody, like you watch Chopped and you're like, don't run to the pantry now. Like, you know so much better when you're watching it from the comfort of your own home. So now we're watching it back and I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Why did I make that? And you kind of see all of the little mistakes that in real time you were like, I'm just doing the best that I can with what I have.
Between the two shows, Pitmasters and Backyard Barbecue Hero, which one did you like doing better?
Ooh.
I think I'll let her answer. She's more proud of Backyard Barbecue Hero because it's her dream show. But while she was filming and when she came home, I could tell that she loved it and had a really, really great time. So
I think Backyard Barbecue Hero was actually harder to make because we were the creative directors and the producers over the entire thing.
Every little edit, or just stressing over every little edit.
I wasn't just thinking about being fun and engaging and cooking the best food that I could. I was also thinking about how's this presenting to camera? What am I saying that's going to be educational? I'm the only one on the show that's like, we have a couple of guests on, but essentially start to finish, I'm directing from in front of the camera. Whereas on Pitmasters, I just got to be a cook and I just got to have fun. And so I think that was actually, even though it was more grueling physically, I think it was much easier to film Pitmasters.
We didn't have to plan any of the production.
Because I wasn't in charge. Barbecue Hero, I think I am more proud of because we did that whole thing and it was amazing.
And Pitmasters was filmed 45 minutes from our house, so that was nice.
You could have just went home, caught a quick nap.
I know.
And then headed back, right?
That was crazy.
What judge do you felt like you had the most in common with?
Oh, man. That's tricky. I feel like each of the judges brought something different and their own perspective to the table. I think Andrew Zimmern has such global experience and has eaten food from some of the best chefs in the world. So I think his expectations and standards in terms of complexity and execution were incredibly high. I think Mo has that competition barbecue background. So I think he has a lot of understanding of how is this supposed to feel? What's this texture? You hear Mo talk a lot about tenderness when he's judging how moist something is. I think he really leans into kind of that competition barbecue style of, is it cooked right? Is the tenderness there? And then the other two judges just really love Texas, man. They just really love Texas barbecue. And I would say that's probably one of Christy and I's failings, is that we're not from Texas. But also, when you're in a competition, you do have to cater to judges' preferences. And we know Ernest and Jess are going to love really well-cooked meat, and they really love like a more classic Texas style approach to things. So I do think it was, and they know meat and they know barbecue, like Jess with her meat science background. And I know Ernest has a bunch of competition barbecue experience and the restaurant side. So I think the judging panel was incredibly well-rounded.
Is it tough to take face-to-face criticism from these judges?
I feel like face-to-face, their feedback was generally positive with a couple of negative notes here and there. I think a lot of what they did in terms of like any negative comments was like shared amongst them when we weren't there. So that's what makes it hard to watch it back, is because I'm like, they're going to have negative comments because that's how entertainment cooking works, right?
Yeah.
They gotta push the negative narrative a little bit to keep the drama up, to keep it interesting. But we didn't really see a ton of that face to face. So watching it back, we're always like, ugh.
Don't speak out of school here. I'm trying to keep these questions tight. As of yesterday, that's all we're talking about. It seems that are teams really plating things with 1 second to go, with 3 seconds to go? Hands up. Is that a gimmick?
This show doesn't really have as tight of a countdown. Like on Chopped, they love like the 10, 9, 8. On this one, they're calling like, hey, you have 20 seconds. Hey, you have 10 seconds. Okay, wrap up plating. It's done. So it's less of like a by the second countdown, but everybody knows when you have to be finished. And there were some dishes that we planned and finished too early, and some dishes that we were coming down right to the exact last second. So I do think in edit, they'll always lean into the teams that are like pushing it to the last minute to get stuff done, because that's more exciting to watch.
I mean, are we as shocked as I am that this many expert cooks are undercooking chicken? What is going on?
I would say yes, and also the weather was, I cannot overstate how dramatic the weather had shifted in the 3 hours they gave us to cook that chicken. I think, and it was right before turn-in that the weather absolutely rocked everybody.
But
it
even Leslie got clipped for undercooking chicken in the first round. Like, what the heck?
I don't know. She was not well physically. She was really not well. But the most recent episode where we did the core 4, the 2 teams turning in the raw chicken, really coming down to the wire on time, because you don't want chicken to sit, right? You don't want to cook it and have it be done 30 minutes early. You don't want a 30-minute rest on a chicken. So you push it so that you're done within 10 minutes of plating. And then the weather drops 25 degrees, hail hits your fire, steam's coming up, temperatures are coming down, and there's really nothing you can do. I mean, the teams did the best that they could, I think, to bring temperature up as rapidly as they could, but I think they got hit by strategizing, and both of them that got hit were ones that tried to cook hot and fast at the end and cook them in larger pieces. And it was a strategy that we didn't have our weather apps. We weren't watching radar. We didn't know that a rainstorm, and it was literally starry skies, rain, hail for 45 minutes leading up to turn-in. So I don't want to say that anybody would have been happy to turn in raw chicken by any stretch. And I understand that the judges were disappointed, but the elements really were up against us that time. It was pretty wild.
John told me if they would have known, they weren't, by the way, but I asked him about the undercooking chicken. I said, would you have just not turned in a plate if you would have been one of the teams undercooking chicken? He's like, yes, I would not have turned in a plate, taken my lumps. Are you of the same mindset?
I agree, but watching it back, I think both of the teams believed that their chicken was done. Like, you watch them cutting it and they're like, is it done? Is it done? And they're both like, I think it's done, man. I think we're good. Like, they cut into every piece of it. I don't think they were knowingly putting raw chicken on there. I think they really believed that they had crossed the threshold. And as it sat, a lot more of that visible pinkness came out than what it would be right when you cut into it that second.
So you are one of the final 3 teams. Yes, one of the final 3 teams that are currently still on Pitmasters, which can be seen Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Food Network. As of yesterday, are you surprised that you've made it this far?
Yeah, after judging, yes. I think it was really, Matt and Max and Christy and I in the bottom 2 for that episode based on the judges' feedback. And I think it could have gone either way. It just came down to final points. And they didn't tell us if it was 1 point difference or 5 points. They didn't tell us if it was close or what. So we don't really know where we landed, but we definitely feel like we skated by the skin of our teeth on that one. The judges they did not like our backyard barbecue. I don't know if I invited them if they would come to my house.
I would uninvite them.
Were you shocked to see what kind of a formidable opponent Alisal and his wife are? Like, they're crazy good.
Oh my gosh.
Impressive.
So good.
Yeah. They win a lot.
I don't think I underestimated anybody on that show. I will say, I believe that anybody that was there is a formidable and worthy opponent just to be there. But they are like the perfect duo of pastry chef to pitmaster. And I think it was unexpected to have a pastry chef on a show like that. But they're so great together. They work so well together, and they're so incredibly nice. And I just think they're fantastic.
All right, so Susie is everywhere on TV. So if you're not watching Backyard Barbecue Hero, make sure that you're starting to tune in and watch all those episodes, and then catch up on Pitmasters if you're not watching along like the rest of us human beings are every Monday. Business-wise at Hey Grill Hey, what else is happening? What's new? What might we be releasing? What don't we want to tell me about that you're going to tell me about? Stuff like this.
Every time.
We have the gloves. We have version 2. The order's in. We'll have them hopefully in November, so in time for holiday shopping. We've got the Velcro strap on the gloves, so our wider wristed friends can wear our gloves comfortably, and it should be easier to get them on and off that way, because that's the sizing on the wrist and getting them on and off have been the biggest, not complaints, just like feedback. So we're working on fixing that, and then we're also introducing a new colorway called the Midnight Edition. So it's going to be, double black dipped, and then just a little blue Hey Grill Hey logo on the Velcro strap. They're going to look really cool. So,
how's this doing?
So good.
Yeah.
Actually, so good. Oh, we got fireworks!
Wow, that was great.
That was amazing. It's doing really well, actually. And our launch was awesome. I think we had a great launch for the cookbook. But what has surprised me has been the last few weeks since the TV show aired and then rolled out on Netflix. We demonstrate, we show the book in the back of the TV show quite often because the show is the name of the book. And I think that's really helped. Also, Todd's Beefy Sprinkles product, we use that in the brisket episode of Backyard Barbecue Hero, and those sales have been moving.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Any other business stuff going on?
We're coming out with kind of new packaging. We're moving to a squeeze bottle, which probably doesn't sound very exciting, but I'm really excited about it because I think it's such a better function for the product. And we've brought people along on the journey a little bit of bringing Hey Grill Hey into more retailers. With AI changing how people consume barbecue content on websites, we thought, well, we've been building this product business kind of parallel to the digital side for long enough. Let's really double down and focus on the physical product. So it's been a year of finding the right co-packing partners, moving label designs and packaging designs. There's a lot of logistics that go into that. So that's been great. But we're also pitching some of the largest retailers in the United States. This year, I have a meeting on Friday with a buyer of a huge national brand that I'm really nervous and excited about. And we met with Costco earlier this year and got approval for a road show in Southern California. So we're going to be testing the waters with some big boy national retailers in the grocery space. And then also we're adding the Hey Grill Hey lineup to the Home Depot spread later this year.
Nice.
So that's really exciting.
Squeeze bottles. Are those more expensive than the non-squeeze bottles?
In what way? Like in making them, or
in
the cost to the customer?
The cost of the cost for you. So if it's 80 cents for the non, is it 95 cents to get a squeeze bottle?
No, our all-in costs are actually going to be going down because we're buying so much more sauce now.
Yeah.
Like our products, it's like there's always a scale that tips as you start to grow your business. And anybody who's in products knows that your manufacturer says we can give it to you if you order this many bottles at this price. But if you order this many bottles, your price starts to go down. So that's our goal, is to work on lowering our costs so that when we do go into grocery and we have to pay distributor fees, and we have to pay
free fills.
This one national retailer that I'm talking to requires me to send a free box to every store of every flavor they bring on. So the cost to do business, most people, if you ever want to talk about the backside of grocery distribution, I've learned about that this year.
Yeah.
On the barbecue business side, it's fascinating. And there's so much I've learned and so many hidden expenses and hidden costs. And most people don't make it without outside investors or daddy's big money buckets. And we are self-funding and bootstrapping this thing. So it's been quite an adventure.
I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I'm surprised there aren't more squeeze bottles of barbecue sauce. I'm just quickly going down in my mind, the Giant Eagle barbecue aisle and the Heinen's barbecue aisle, and I would say 98% of that stuff is either plastic or glass bottled tip shit, and it's not squeeze, but like squeeze seems to be like the best.
Yeah, Blues Hog was a big. When they switched from their jar to the squeeze, but like Cosmos is switching, Kinder's is switching.
I think you're going to see a lot more people in a squeeze bottle.
Yeah. When I make my homemade barbecue sauce, it goes right in a
function.
squeeze bottle. Yes, of course. I mean, so much better application.
Function.
So much better application.
Yeah.
All right. We have Susie and Todd Bulloch here. You see them every 3 months here on this show, so that means they have one more visit to go before we tie up 2026 again. Make sure you're watching Pitmasters Monday nights on the Food Network, and go over to Tastemade. Make sure you're watching Backyard Barbecue Hero, where you can see Susie as well. Guys, always appreciate the time. Always appreciate the inside baseball talk and candor. And again, we'll see you in 3 months.
Okay, see ya.
All right, Greg. There they are. Susie and Todd Bulloch. Right there, letting it all hang out from a here's what's happening on the TV show perspective. Here's what's some new business that we have going on. Love it. Always open and honest, giving you the real live insight on what it takes to be successful in this business, and certainly appreciate that. So we're all set. We're going to call it a night. A couple minutes early here. Why not? All the way back in the first hour, a Stephen Raichlen joined the show, and then a Wes Wright, and then taking the balance of the second hour, Susie and Todd Bulloch from Hey Grill Hey. HeyGrillHey.com is their website, of course, for recipes and videos. Maybe you can get out on the Grill Squad if that has open enrollment at the moment, and then of course all the products that you might want, seasoning, sauces, and or otherwise. Appreciate everybody watching in the chat here tonight as we close out here this evening. On the poll, 62% of you do believe that because the dates were announced that the BBQ World Cup will happen. So there you go. A big show planned for you next week. Believe it or not, we are into the 4th Tuesday of the month. However, there is a bonus Tuesday in August, so there'll be another show after that. Then we will bridge into September. Then the countdown starts. The 15th, Lindsay Cole interview talking about pre-toupee. And then the week after, post-install toupee. Oh my God, it's going to be great. And we're going to be doing videos and all of that stuff within that week time frame. So stay tuned for it. If you always wanted to see it, if you want to see what a new-aged toupee looks like, you're going to get the straight dope right here. Not only are you getting the straight dope, you're getting the straight dope. So how do I always leave? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe, saying, Shabon! Shabon!
This is Chris Payne from Euclid, Ohio, and you are listening to BBQ Central.